Hey, it's nutritionist and maintainable weight loss coach Trisha Mandis here, and I am thrilled because I have a new graduate from the program, someone who just made my day by talking about his results. I'm incredibly proud of him. His name is William Gourniak. He's 36. He's a teacher's aide in Phillipsburg, New Jersey. Thank you so much for being here, William. I appreciate it.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, my pleasure. So if you're comfortable sharing, can you tell us how you struggled with your weight and your health before you joined the program? How were you feeling in your day-to-day life?
Before I joined, I was unhappy in many ways. I was unhappy with my weight. I was unhappy with my self-esteem for sure. And was going through a divorce, still kind of going through that, but was heavily into the beginning process of a divorce. And it was really weighing me down emotionally. And then also I was overweight because of the emotions that kind of go along with that, coming out of COVID and everything that was going on with that. So I definitely put on the COVID weight and was, comfort eating and trying my best to just stay afloat while going to grad school. So there was just a lot going on that was not positive in my life at that point. So I reached out to you to try to get my life on track.
And you decided to join the program. I'm so freaking glad that you did. And it's been exactly 10 weeks as of yesterday. What results have you experienced since eating optimally and being here?
Well, eating optimally has helped me drastically. I mean, I can just go right in and say that
all the
within 10 weeks, I've lost 30 pounds. That's like I have a 2.5-year-old son. He only weighs 27 pounds, or he's almost 30 pounds now. It's around there. So it's I lost almost a 3-year-old off my body. So that's really amazing. I can tell, I can totally tell, my face is thinner. The belly's pretty much gone. The man boobs are pretty much gone. And I'm feeling a lot better about myself. And that's not like me. Before the process, I really felt bad about myself and didn't know how to get out of my own thought process. And the results help me feel better. So, it's a lot of work, but the consistency and the support that you get in this program has been really great. Having our one-on-ones and then having the group, cheer everybody on. Everyone's kind of going through the same thing as you, which is nice. And, you're patting them on the back, they're patting you on the back. And then having you, Trish, has really helped. I was in many dark places along this journey. And I was just open and honest with myself about what I was feeling. And at times, after I would send an email to you, I'd be like, oh man, I don't know if I should have sent that, but I did anyway. And I always got pretty much a thank you from you, being thanks for being, vulnerable to me. So the support that I got from you was so great. And it's actually the only thing that I would even be somewhat worried that I don't have, even though I put these other support pieces into play. I hope that we could just be friends now. Yeah.
I'm glad that that you're here and that we live in the same general area. But I also am going to say too that I appreciate you just being so vulnerable right now too. And I hope you're comfortable with me sharing now too, is for your unique situation, we built it into the program that if you are having a tough time emotionally, that I want you to reach out. And I'm really glad that we did that for you.
I think that was a big reason why I joined too, within our consultation in day one. I needed emotional support And I stated that like off the bat. I was like, I need someone else to help me through this. That's not just like, that it's not just going to be diet. It's not just going to be working out. Like I needed it to be like a holistic process. And although like I was going to talk therapy, and I still am a huge advocate for people to go to therapy, and I will continue to always go to that.
Okay.
It was nice to have a psychodynamic, which is talk therapy, and then also have a cognitive behavioral therapist, which was you, to give me the homework to help me change my life. You know what I mean? To be like,
I'm going to correct you and pause just for the recording sake, is that I'm not a therapist. I'm not a cognitive behavioral therapist. However, the cognitive work that we do, I did learn at the Aaron Beck Institute, which is the founder of cognitive behavioral therapy. So we did apply that as well. And I'm going to share my screen here because we were reflecting on this, that you moved down in an entire, like you totally moved down the BMI chart. You started about here and now you're here. That you've gone from being on overweight to the edge of being in the obese category to now being right on the edge of a normal category. So you've just, and
I definitely saw numbers that were
here's your weight chart
on the obese like chart
before
like in my life.
Yeah. So you did an amazing job. What hesitations did you have about signing up with the program, and why?
You want the truth?
Yes, of course.
Well, I'm only 36 years old. I'm going through a lot of different things, and finances were definitely one of them. So, I mean, working with any nutritionist, there's going to be a financial aspect of it that I was not really ready for, but I pushed my tokens in, and that helped because, you know, if you invest in yourself, sometimes investing in yourself financially is a great motivator. And because then you're like,
it can force you to show up for yourself.
Yeah. And
plus it works. So
yeah, exactly.
It didn't
so
work.
Like
That'd
it worked. I lost 40
but
pounds, so it definitely works. But I definitely was like, oh no, okay, you know, like just pull the Band-Aid off and get going. So
you regret it?
No, not at all.
Okay, good. I'm really happy to hear that. Would you recommend it to others who are struggling with their weight and their health and their emotional health all at the same time, and why or why not?
I would. I especially think it's hard. I think it's harder as you get older to get on a new track because we're all get into our own lanes and ways of eating and listen to whatever we've been listening to for a long time. So it takes a certain kind of like courage for you to be like, okay, like I'm just going to listen to Trisha. You know what I mean? Who, you know, you have a lot of knowledge backing you up. You're trained and have helped many people. For me, being 36, I looked at your physical demeanor and I was like, okay, well, Trisha's doing it herself. Like she's living by example. So it's not like you're going to a nutritionist who's overweight telling you to not be overweight. Mm-hmm. That was impactful to me. So like, I would always say that to people along the way, be like, hey, this is my nutritionist. Like, look at her. She's killing it too. Like, and she's just following her own advice. So like that made me feel more confident in staying true to the process. I was like, okay, this person is doing exactly what she says her client should do. So why don't you just do what she's doing? Like, you don't have to make this rocket science.
Thanks. That means a lot. What did you think about the food and how you're eating and what you're eating and how frequently you're eating and not measuring portion sizes and blah, blah, blah?
I think for myself, it was great because I needed a change. Like I needed a mental change, physical change. I was looking for a reboot, you know what I mean? And I got that reboot. I'm still working on that reboot. That'll be a reboot that doesn't ever fully get back up. It's a constant, it's a new constant, which is great. And I totally forgot the question.
Do you enjoy what you're eating and
Oh,
how the food makes you feel physically?
it's when you told me earlier in the program, you were like, you're going to start to taste things differently. I was like, in my head, I'm like, that must be
Some
not true.
bullshit.
Like how, yeah, like how can that even be a thing? But I'll tell you, like, because I went really militant. I took your word for exactly what it was. You know what I mean? You're like, if you do this and this, this will happen. So like, okay, I'm just going to do exactly what she says. I'm not going to think about it. I'm just going to put my life in your hands when it came to everything. And I'll tell you, changing your diet in this way and then eating something, it sometimes your taste buds explode like with flavor. You get this new, like if you eat something that you're like craving and it's still optimal, it tastes so much better. And I didn't think that, and that sounds like a crock of baloney. Like that sounds like no way, but it's really, really true. Like once you're craving something and you get to eat it and you're like, oh my God, this is better than it's ever been.
Great. Anything else you want to share? I would love for you to think about someone who's watching this right now that may be in a similar situation right now as you were when you started. What would you say to them right now if they're contemplating joining the program?
I would say to them that having the person, of course you can do your own research. Of course you can learn about eating optimally and do this and try to do it by yourself. Like you absolutely can try to do it that way, but having you, Trisha, along the way is priceless. Like that's like having the one-on-one conversations, having someone actually in your corner, having the personality along with it, because like you're like this quirky, upbeat woman to be with, that like even for me who's like not really that type, I'm like, you help bring people out of their shell a little bit. It's really helpful. It's priceless. It's a beautiful thing that you are offering, this human to human connection. That's what makes it different than like anything else. It's like, yeah, you can join Jenny Craig or something like that, and get in with the rest of the sheeple, the rest of the people that are just trying the same thing that everybody else is trying, but they're not getting that one-on-one connection. And that's what makes it worth the price, it's worth more than that. Like it makes it priceless because you get to meet you who's doing the process along with your clients, with me. You feel like a personal connection between them. And that's what makes it better. And that's what I would say to someone who would be like thinking about joining this, be like, well, you get to meet someone who can take the bumps. Like I wasn't always like nice to you. Like, I mean, I was nice to you, but I was like, oh, this, like, I'm doing this and this is all I'm like, I don't even need this. Like you get to a point because 10 weeks isn't short, but it's not short and it's not long. It's like a really nice, cozy spot that you're gonna see change. I mean, I lost 30 pounds. I'm such a product of the change, you know what I mean? Of the process. It definitely works. But I hit a mode at some point where like, I'm doing this. This is just me. Like, I don't even know why I'm doing this. Like, and you were like, okay, like you weren't snug. You weren't ever upset with me for how I was feeling at that moment. And that kind of patience is really nice. Cause I at certain points I was like, man, she's going to be mad at me. She's going to
fire me. I'm just kidding. No, I didn't.
Yeah, I was like, she's going to kick me out of this program. But
well, I want to say you did an amazing job, and tell the audience what reward did you just get from your gym?
Oh, I got even, yeah, I try to be a modest person, but I did get what did I get? I got member of the month today.
Ah,
I got gym member of the month.
because of the results that you've achieved.
And I was shocked. I'm not gonna lie, like they took my picture and I'm gonna go on the wall. And it's hard for me to be proud of myself about things. And like, that was one big thing that I learned in this program, is to start to be proud about things that I've achieved. I'm actually like really proud of that.
Yes, I'm so happy to hear that. I'm really proud of you too. That was so awesome when you told me that when we first hopped on. Well, William, thank you so much for doing this interview with me. Just like I said when we hopped on our call today, like, it makes me so happy and brings me so much joy to see how hard you've worked for yourself and what you've accomplished since being here. And I'm really excited for you to keep going and keeping this up on your own, because I have no doubt you will. So thank you so much.
No problem. Thank you.